Hello everyone, welcome back to the Global Online. I'm Arvind and you're watching lecture number 7 of General Knowledge and Current Affairs for CLAT 2026. In today's lecture, we are going to cover some most important PYQs from CLAT 2025 and that can have a direct question potential in a CLAT 2026. So before we begin, here is an important announcement. Our Global Online live batch for CLAT 2026 is starting from 3rd of November. This is a complete course that covers legal reasoning, logical reasoning, English language, general knowledge and current affairs, quantitative techniques. You will get a live interactive classes, recorded lectures, mock test and PDF notes and previous year question analysis. And this is all in a one program. The course fee is just 5,999 and seats are limited, so make sure to enroll before 3 November to join from day 1. Now let's begin lecture number 7 of General Knowledge and Current Affairs and strengthen your preparation for CLAT 2026. So there is a passage, the Nari Shakti Vandan Adhiniyam 2023 Act received near unanimous support in both the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. The legislation mandates the reservation of 1/3 of all seats in Lok Sabha, state legislative assemblies and Delhi as a union territory with the elected assembly for women. This linking of the implementation of the Act to the implementing of two long-term exercises of census and delimitation makes a little sense to many and sounds quite like empowerment delayed for now. In a 2012 article holding up half the sky, reservation for women in India, Rudolph C. Heredia breaks down the common misconceptions that cloud our understanding of women political participation. When women do attain a national leadership role, it is often because they have inherited the mantle from their fathers or husbands, rather than as a person in their own right, and are then projected as matriarchs, part of the joint family, complementary to the patriarchy rather than a challenge to it. In Equality versus Empowerment, Women in India Legislature 2023, Soumya Bhaumik makes the case for going a step beyond quotas and to turn our attention to the complexities that shape women's agency in the country. This, he argues, would require a bottoms up approach rather than merely handling out reservation in a top down manner. In a country like India with a considerably large heterogeneous population, the dissemination of legislative power would be insufficient to protect the interest of a minority groups such as women, scheduled caste, and scheduled tribes. He concludes that implementing the idea of reservation for women would bring about descriptive representation, but its transformation into substantive representation would depend on the change in the attitudes of the people. While the reservation of 1/3 of seats for women belonging to the scheduled castes and tribes under the amendment to the Article 330A and 332 of the Constitution is welcome step, it remains to be seen whether it fully acknowledges the complex interplay of hierarchies, socio-political relationship, which also affect the extent and nature of complication that surrounds effective realization of women's politics for Indian politics to emerge as a truly emancipatory space. So let's see the short summary of this passage. This passage discusses the Nari Shakti Vandan Adhiniyam Act 2023, which mandates reserving 1/3 of seats in the Lok Sabha, state legislative assemblies and Delhi Assembly for women. However, its implementation is tied to census and delimitation exercises, causing delays which some see as a postponed empowerment. Rudolph C. Heredia critique women's political leadership as often inherited from male relatives rather than earning individually, perpetuating patriarchy. Soumya Bhaumik advocates moving beyond quotas, suggesting a bottoms-up approach is needed to address complexities in women's agency and minority representation. He stresses that reservation brings descriptive but not necessarily substantive representation without social attitude changes. The amendment to Article 330A and 332, which reserves seat for women from scheduled castes and tribes, is positive but may overlook hierarchies and socio-political dynamics that influences Indian women's political empowerment. So there are some questions which were asked. First one is the Nari Shakti Vandan Adhiniyam 2023. Options are given, will come to force from January 2025. will come to force after all the state and UTs approve it, will come to force after census, and option D, none of the above. So students, we should look for the keywords in this question. The keywords are come to force, Nari Shakti Vandan Adhiniyam 2023 and census. So the relevant portion of this passage is the act's implementation is linked to census and delimitation exercises. So we can eliminate option A, which is January 2025, because no date is mentioned in the passage. Option B is also can be eliminated because states and UTs approval, which is not cited in this passage. Option C is will come to force after census. This is the correct answer. That's why option D can be eliminated, which is none of the above. So the correct answer for this question will be option C, will come to force after census. Let's move to the next question. As per Rudolf Heredia, women's political leadership depends upon, options are given, mentorship of spouses' political affiliations, option B, parental guidance, option C, property inheritance, and option D, none of the above. So students, keywords in this question are Rudolf Heredia, women's leadership, and inherit mantle. So relevant portion of the passage for this question is leadership often inherited from fathers or husband. So we can eliminate option A, which is a mentorship, that is not mentioned in the passage. Next is option B, parental guidance, that is related but it is too general. Option C, property inheritance, it is not related to the question. Hence option D, none of the above, because the passage says inherited mantle from fathers or husband, not a mentorship, guidance, or a property. So option D, none of the above will be the correct answer here. So let's move to the next question. According to Soumya Bhaumik, the quotas for women should, options are given, require a top-down model, fulfill a descriptive representation, option C, transform to substantive representation, and option D, to be implemented homogeneously. So guys, the keywords from these questions are Soumya Bhaumik, then quotas, representation, descriptive, and substantive. So let's see the relevant portion of the passage. The passage says he advocates transforming descriptive to substantive representation and using a bottom-up approach. So we can eliminate option A, which is require a top-down model. He opposes this. Option B is fulfill descriptive representation. In this case, quota alone does this. Option D is homogeneous implementation, that is not emphasized in passage. But option C, transform to substantive representation, it is mentioned in the passage. So the correct answer will be option C, transform to substantive representation. Let's see the next question. The amendment to the Article 330A and 332 aims to, options are given, appoint Rajya Sabha members based on cultural diversity. Option B, quotas for women governors. Option C, women sports persons. And option D, none of the above. So guys, the keyword from this question are Article 330A, then 332, reservation, women, scheduled castes and tribes. So the relevant portion of the passage for this question is reserving 1/3 seats for women from scheduled caste and tribes. So we can eliminate option A, which says Rajya Sabha members based on cultural diversity. It is not mentioned in the passage. Quota for women governors, that is also not mentioned in the passage. Woman sports person, which is irrelevant, and that's why option D, none of the above, will be the best and correct answer for this question. So guys, this question brings us to the end of the lecture number 7 of general knowledge and current affairs. I hope today's session helped you understand the kind of current topics that are important for CLAT 2026. Remember, consistency is the key. Reading a few updates every single day will make huge difference by the time your exam arrives. Now, here's a quick reminder. Our global online live batch for CLAT 2026 begins on 3rd of November. In this batch, you will get a daily live interactive classes for all 5 sections, recorded lectures, topic-wise notes and mock test. Along with that, expert guidance and previous year paper analysis for complete preparation. The entire course fee is just 5,999 and this batch is designed to take you from beginner level to the exam ready step by step. If you haven't enrolled it, now is the best time. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to Global Online for more lectures and test discussions and live updates. See you in the next session and all the best for your CLAT preparation.